your favorite weight loss coach, Maddie, is back at it with some tips and tricks for you. And today, I want to talk about kind of the world of social media and all this weight loss advice out there. So I was scrolling this morning, as one does early in the morning. I was scrolling through Instagram and I was looking at the reels. Maybe you were on TikTok and do the same, wherever it is that you scroll. I was scrolling, and I always, of course, I like to keep a pulse on the weight loss and fitness industry. I like to know what's going on. I like to know what people are talking about, so I know, what you guys want to hear more of. And the more I scroll, the more I see like the same advice, and it's all really generic, and it's not really helpful. Eat lean proteins, don't eat this, stop being guilty, just eat, just move more. Like it's not bad. Like it's on the right track. It's just not very actionable. And so I have this idea that I really want to sit down and kind of decipher everything that's out there that's being fed to you. And I want to make it actually actionable for you. How can you actually take it and start implementing it immediately instead of having it be this generalized advice, right? The problem with so many people and companies out there in terms of weight loss is that they cover such a broad spectrum of people, right? They market and advertise to so many different types of people, men and women, young and old, postmenopausal, premenopausal, they're marketing for such a broad group of people that you can't possibly give very specific advice because everybody's so different. And so I want to kind of take this because I was tired, I'm just kind of tired of hearing it all, right? When I was struggling on my weight loss journey, I didn't know who to believe. I didn't know what was true. I didn't know what was false. I didn't know what was a lie. And I had failed so many times trying these things that I didn't really want to try one more time because I didn't want to waste time again. I didn't want to do this trial and error experiment thing. Maybe this advice is going to work for me because it works for her. And it's just this kind of sand trap and you never get out of it. So the first thing that I've seen everybody's kind of spitting out lately is eat more protein, eat lean proteins. Cool, awesome. That's a great start. Yes, you should be eating more lean proteins. Why? They keep you fuller for longer. They make sure that when you do lose weight, you're losing fat and not burning off your muscles so that you can keep a nice shape. You don't want to be skinny fat, which is like when you lose weight and you look sick or you don't have a shape to you. It helps curb cravings, all right? And overall, usually it tastes pretty damn good. Meat's one of my favorite food groups. So now we have to break this down. Yes, you should be eating more lean proteins, but what is a lean protein? How much should you be doing? How long? All of this. So a lean protein, here are some examples. Chicken breast, turkey breast, pork loin, white fish like haddock, tilapia, cod, bassa, shrimp, egg whites, 0% cottage cheese, 0% Greek yogurt, tofu. These are all generally going to be more lean. And lean meaning lower fat, which means lower calories, which means you can get to eat more of it and still lose weight instead of eating a higher fat protein, let's say like a steak or maybe salmon or chicken thigh. A little bit more fat on them. They're going to be more calories. So you're going to have to eat less of them to lose weight. And when you're losing weight, you don't really want to be eating less food because you're already having to decrease food to lose weight in the first place, right? So lean proteins, those are some examples. The cool thing about that is now that you have this group of lean proteins, you can now just play around with them, right? You can cook them in different ways, cook them with different flavors, and just go back and forth. You never really get bored. And then every now and then, maybe once or twice a month, you can spice it up and you can have those non-lean proteins if it's a special occasion or something like that while you're on your weight loss journey. So that's kind of encompassing what it is. Now let's talk about how much. So this varies person to person. I would personally just start with 3 lean protein sources per day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's really easy. 6 ounces if you're talking about like an animal protein, or 3/4 to a cup of anything else like a Greek yogurt or cottage cheese. Super simple. 3 times a day. It'll keep you satiated. It'll curb your cravings. It'll speed up your metabolism as well, and it'll maintain your muscle mass. So that's very easy with the how, okay? I could sit here and I could tell you, I guess I'm standing. I could stand here and tell you, how many grams you should be having per pound of body weight that you have. I could do that, but that's just not realistic, and you don't really need to know that right now. It's just not important to know those numbers. Start small, right? It's not, Number one, the biggest problem with weight loss is that you don't really know what to do. But number two is, even if you did know what to do, you wouldn't be doing it long enough to see results. Because what's the one biggest common thing that women struggle with? It's being consistent. It's following through. It's getting back up faster when you fall off. And that's what you're missing the most of. So start small, start simple. And that's really important. And that's what I kind of want to impart to you today. Be very careful where you're getting your advice. If it's very generic, if it's very broad, if there's not much action you can do after hearing it, then I would say go find a different source, because those people or those companies, they work with too many people to have very specific guidelines for you and your needs. That's all. Not that it's wrong. It's just at this point in your journey, if you're anything like I was, I'd listened to everything out there and I was kind of fed up and I didn't want to hear any more generic advice. Like, it just wasn't going to help me. I didn't really believe it. I had a little bit of hope left, not much. And so I would half-ass it anyway. And if you half-ass anything, you're not going to get anywhere. So it's kind of this self-fulfilling prophecy of hearing something that you'd like to try, but because of your past, you don't think it's going to work. So even though you do get the courage to try it, you're not really convinced it's going to work. You don't give it your all. So of course you don't see results. And then you repeat the past again. And I want to break that cycle for you. And that starts with actionable advice. So be very careful where you're getting your advice. First thing that I've been hearing is, lean proteins. Awesome. Great. You got to go into more depth than that. I hope the tips that I gave you today can point you in the right path. So the types and how much you should be eating and for how long, it's pretty much indefinite, right? Especially in the weight loss phase. Like, definitely what I've noticed in clients is that if you get the right program with the right information and the right coaches, you can be super on point and perfect and strict for about 3 months. 3 months until old habits and mindset starts to creep in and you need to be a little bit more lenient and free with your planning of things and kind of incorporate more variety. But for about 3 months, if you've gotten the right plan, you can just go for it. You can have as much of the lean proteins and you won't get bored at it because you're seeing results. And that is so important. If you do not see results immediately, you're going to fall off. People make it seem like fast results are bad, and that's not the case. If you've gotten those fast results in a healthy way, then what does it matter? That's your body saying, please get this weight off of me. It's about time. So embrace it. Embrace it, enjoy it, and go eat your lean proteins. Go enjoy.